Welcome back to Chin Music, your number one spot for MLB plays. Let's do a little recap over yesterday. It was a bit of a tough day. A lot of surprising things happened. Teams were out hitting other teams, weren't finding a way to win. Giants decided to blow a couple games in the 9th and 10th inning. Skeens was giving out batting practice, same with Gosman. But back to the drawing board for day two. That is the nature of baseball. So without further ado, let's get going with these plays. Only one game in the afternoon before a packed night slate, and that's going to be Snakes versus the Cubs. Now, the Snakes starting pitching has really struggled to go deep into games. We saw James McCann have to come out in relief twice against the Brewers in the 3-game series, and the D-backs have just really been struggling on the defensive side of the ball recently. It's making it really hard to back them. Meanwhile, the Cubs have been finally getting really hot offensively. They've been playing well. I know Reyes off a bad performance for his metrics against a really good Dodgers team. I'm not going to fault him there. I do think he'll bounce back this game. Gallen's had a solid season. He's been fine. He's been good. Definitely better than last year. This just isn't really a place that I want to back the D-backs in, even though I'm a fan of them. It's just they aren't looking like a good team right now, and so I'm going to fade them. I'm going to take the Cubs minus 132. As we take a look at the over-under in this game, keep in mind at Wrigley, the wind is a really big impact, and the winds are going to be blowing in, and they're going to be strong winds as well, leading to this low total. I am going to be playing the over here. I know that the wind affects it a lot. I just don't have any reason to believe in the Diamondbacks and their bullpen right now. The Cubs bullpen isn't the most amazing pen either. Both teams have really good hitters. The Cubs are hot, so give me the over 7.5 minus 102 and the Cubs money line minus 132. Second game, we have the Rangers and the Tigers. Gore, Flaherty, two pitchers you do not know what you're going to get out of them, and that makes this a very tough game to pick. I'm leaning towards going with the Tigers here, just because I like them at home. They seem to play well at home. They came off a brutal loss the other day. I think that the bats are picking it up a little bit. I just struggle to back this Texas Rangers team. They pitch really well top to bottom. They have a great pen. But you just don't know what Gore you're going to get. And their offense isn't all that. I know that they've got some injuries and whatnot. I also know that Flaherty's got a lot more experience against these Texas batters, so I'm going to ride with the guy who's got some experience and play the Tigers minus 116 on the money line. As far as the over-under goes, I'm going to play the over here. I know I harped about a good Rangers bullpen and starting pitching, not the best offense, but I really do think that both these teams are going to be able to rip a few runs off these starting pitchers, so give me the over 8 runs, especially with the wind blowing out. Not too much of an effect there, but I do think that we're going to get some runs in this game. Tigers and the over. Next game, we have got the Brewers at the Washington Nationals. The Miz pitching for the Brewers against Jake Irvin. I'm going to have to back the Miz and the Brewers here, even with the juice. I just think that the D-backs really let their offense get going. They had 13 runs, 2 out of the 3 games. The Miz just keeps looking better and better. He's good at limiting home runs, strikes guys out against a team that is pretty swing and miss. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see James Wood take him out or something, but I don't think that'll affect the outcome of the game. Give me the Brewers here, not too much thought into it. I feel pretty confident in this pick. As far as the over-under goes, I'm going to go with the over here. Irvin came off a game where he pitched scoreless against the White Sox. I don't see that happening again. The Nationals always find ways to get runs. So yeah, give me the over 8 at minus 118 and the Brewers minus 154 on the money line. Next game, we have the Giants at the Rays with Robbie Ray versus Shane McClanahan, a little lefty-lefty matchup. Two really, really good pitchers here. Should be a good fight. I'm leaning towards the Rays, though. The Giants just played that back-to-back, 2 brutal losses in the 8th and the 9th. I think their bullpen's going to be a little bit tethered. They're playing at Rays Stadium, which obviously is a very pitcher-friendly park. McClanahan's pitched there before. He just had his best start after returning from injury last game. So I'm going to back the Rays here. The Giants' offense is just brutal to watch. They're not a fun team to watch whatsoever. The Rays, on the other hand, they've exceeded my expectations, and I was high on them to begin with. So give me the Rays minus 130 here. And I am going to go with the over 7.5 as well. I know I said two good pitchers in a pitcher's park. San Fran bullpen is going to be tired. And McClanahan, he's still finding his way back from that injury. So give me the over 7.5 as well. Next game, we have the Reds at the Pirates. Brady Singer, who's hopefully figured out his blister issue, going up against Mitch Keller. Two very good pitchers when healthy. Pirates coming off a sweep against the Cardinals. You would look at them to bounce back on this spot maybe, but I think I really do like getting the Reds at plus money. You don't really get that option too often anymore with this team. I do think that Brady Singer's had some better starts, has figured out that blister issue I referred to, and I think he'll be fine in this game against a struggling somewhat Pirates offense who hasn't seemed to generate anything until the later innings, even against some more mediocre St. Louis pitching. Beyond that, I am going to go with the under 8.5 minus 122. I know the winds are blowing out, but as I mentioned, these are two really good pitchers that I have a lot of faith in. I expect this to be a close game, and something happens in the bullpen to where the Reds take over at the end of the game and secure the W for us. So give me the Reds plus 106 on the money line and the under 8.5 minus 122. All right, next game, we've got O's versus Yankees. We got Povich, however you say it, pitching against Will Warren. The Orioles are calling up Cade from the minor leagues. He did have, a couple good starts up here. We've seen him time and time again. He's not the best pitcher. There's a reason he's in the minors. Will Warren's been absolutely shelling. The Yankees offense has been firing on all cylinders. I don't like playing heavily favored teams, but I am going to have to ride with the Yankees minus 184 here. As I keep saying, Pete Alonso does not look like himself. The Orioles offense is not there. Their bullpen isn't all there. A guy from the minors is pitching. I'm taking the Yankees here. And give me the under 8.5 at minus 104. There's some light, medium winds blowing out. I don't think it should affect much. The Yankees, they might tag up Cade. But let's see if we can go under 8.5 here. Next game, we have the Astros at the Red Sox. Mike Burrows will be on the bump for the Astros, and Jake Bennett will be making his MLB debut for the Red Sox. Bennett is, I want to say, the 6th ranked prospect in the Red Sox system. Future ace, 6'6" guy, recovered from Tommy John, who they really think has a lot of potential. Burrows, as we've seen this year, has really struggled to not give up runs. It's just not really been his year. This is a really tough game, and you need to figure out for yourself whether you want to back the Rook or if you want to go with the known starter who can get shelled. The Rook here's got a lot of potential. They obviously haven't seen him before. They might have a good game plan for him, but he could also get tagged up real quick by Alvarez and some Altuve and some of these guys that have been around the league for a while. You need to make your own decision here on what you want to play. I think that I'm just going to take the plus 102 on Houston and ride the over. Obviously, wishing Bennett the best in his first start, but I'm not sure that he's going to get it done against this Astros offense. Next matchup, divisional matchup, we have the Phillies at Marlins. Wheeler on the bump, his second start this year, had a great first start from returning from injury versus Eri Perez. Really high upside, young, I think he's like 6'6" or 6'7" guy, future ace for the Marlins. He's just sort of hit or miss. You don't really know what you're going to get out of him, who's going to show up. The Phillies just came off a 3-game win streak, probably their first sweep of the year against the Giants. Do we really think that gives them momentum? I don't know. I'm pretty sure any team could sweep the Giants. They're just not a very good team this year. I'm going to fade them here. I'm going to take the Marlins plus 108 on the thought that Perez is going to come out and just absolutely deal. I don't have faith in this Phillies team. They just came off a back-to-back, or a doubleheader, and won in dramatic fashion 2 times. No, you're not winning in dramatic fashion 3 times. I swear, Fairbanks, if you do this to me again, I'm going to have to stop calling you all the Breadlins. But they have made me so much money this year, so I'm not going to fade them now. Give me Miami plus 108 on the money line. And I am going to go with the over 8 runs. I think that this Miami bullpen, we know it's not great. They sell so many leads, and the Phillies bullpen has to be weathered after yesterday. Give me the over 8 minus 110, the Marlins plus 108 on the money line. Next up, we have Blue Jays Twins, possibly the most disgusting game on the board today. Apologies if you're a fan of either team. What an awful game. We have a Patrick Corbin, he's like 37, about to be 38, or 36, about to be 37. Pitching in Simeon Woods Richardson, who I don't know if he's ever had a clean outing. I'm not really sure the line here. I'm definitely taking Toronto minus 106. I know I had them last night, and they just absolutely looked awful. I want to say they were out hitting them or had the same amount of hits too, and still ended up just looking like it was a complete blowout. Gosman was tossing some batting practice, letting some hard contact. Not cool. Let's look for them to bounce back in this spot behind the seasoned vet. I just cannot take Simeon Woods Richardson with good conscience. Give me the over 8.5 as well. I don't think either of these guys are really going to strap it down. Over 8.5 minus 115. Blue Jays minus 106 on the money line. I'm going back for them again. If they lose this time, we might have to put them on the ban list for a little bit, but we'll give them one more shot. Next game, we have an exciting Dodgers at Cardinals matchup. Cardinals on a 4-game win streak. Offense is firing on all cylinders. You've got Liberatore on the bump, who's rather hit or miss. He can go 6 scoreless. He can go 4 and give up 4. We've got Sheehan, on the bump for the Dodgers. He started off a little bit rough this season, but he's really bounced back these last couple games. My favorite play in this game is going to be the over. We have obviously a very potent Dodgers offense going up against Liberatore, who you don't know what he's going to put out there. And, we've seen Sheehan give up some runs before, and it looks like there's no stopping this Cardinals offense right now. Jordan Walker, he's really, found his swing. It's really exciting to watch. Weatherholt's coming into his own as a rookie. So I'm actually going to take the St. Louis Cardinals money line here at plus money. And I am going to take the over 8.5 as well. I know that the winds are blowing in, but we know how these teams can score. Over 8.5, minus 105. St. Louis Cardinals plus 144 in the money line to upset the Dodgers at home. Next game, we have the best team in baseball right now, the Atlanta Braves, against the Colorado Rockies. Grant Holmes on the bump for the Braves, and Quintana on the bump for the Rockies. With Holmes, you know what you're getting. You're getting about 4 to 6 innings of 2 to 3 run ball. That's not bad. We can work with that with this Braves offense that is extremely hot. Albies is on fire. Acuna is looking better. He still hasn't even been himself. As with Quintana, you don't really know what you're getting. He tends not to go far into games, and that's a big problem for a Rockies team with the Rocky bullpen. I cannot back that. I'm going to have to go with Atlanta here, sadly. And I think I'm also going to go with the under 10.5 at plus money. I know that these Rockies team can score a lot. The Braves team can score a lot. I know they can get rocked. That is a really high total in the baseball game. So give me the Braves minus 188, a lot of juice, and give me the under 10.5 at plus 100. Next game, we have the New York Poverty Mets against the Los Angeles Poverty Angels. This is another awful game. Christian Scott getting his first real start of the year. Not sure what to expect out of him. Walbert Urena, I was a big fan of his going into the season. He has had a good start. He's had some bad starts. The Angels have been on just an awful streak. Not like the Mets have been on much better of one, but somehow they have been. This is a really tough spot. I think the Mets have just screwed me over so many times this year that I'm going to say fuck them, and I'm going to go with the Angels. Give me the Angels at plus money. Give me the over on a Mets team that can't score. Just give me the over in this game. That's what I would prefer to play out of either of these things. I don't want to play the Mets. I don't want to play the Angels. I do want to play the over. I don't have confidence in either of these pitchers. I don't have confidence in the bullpen for the Angels especially. What an awful, awful bullpen. Give me the over as my favorite play, and since I have to, I'll take the Angels plus 104. Next up, we have the Guardians at the A's. Joey Cantillo against JT Ginn. Both solid pitchers here, both very, solid teams. I am going to have to go with the lefty, Joey Cantillo, off of a loss. What a stud pitcher he is, and I just know he's going to bounce back off this loss. I love getting the Guardians at -104 here, close to plus money. I get that the A's are at home. I just don't think that JT is as good of a pitcher as Cantillo. And I also like the under here, under 9.5, -115. We have two really solid pitchers, two really solid teams. I think that they'll be able to limit the damage going on. I see Cantillo going deep into this game. I really, really like the Guardians in this spot. Give me the Guardians -104, under 9.5, -115. We have two good pitchers on the mound today. It should be a really fun game to watch if you like pitching. Next game, we have the White Sox at the Padres. Noah Schultz on the bump for the White Sox against German Marquez for the Padres. I really like the Sox plus money in this spot. They're a hot team with a really good lefty on the mound. I've been hitting the ball really well. They're really looking like they're hitting their stride right now. I look over at San Diego. Marquez, he's pretty hit or miss. Usually going to give up a couple of runs. I really like how this White Sox team is playing. So I'm going to take the value play on the White Sox, plus 118 on the money line against German Marquez. I just don't see him getting it done. I'm not sure how he keeps picking up these wins. He's giving up runs. So I guess he's just getting a lot of run support when he's pitching. I don't see that happening today against Schultz. So give me the White Sox money line, and I am going to go with the... this is a tough one. I don't really love this over-under. I'm probably going to go with the under 8 runs. I think they would be best suited in a close game. We know how this Padres bullpen is. It's, in my opinion, top 3 in the league, maybe the best in the league. So give me the under 8 runs, -115. Don't love that play. I do really like the White Sox, plus 118 on the money line against Marquez. Alrighty, last game of the day. We have the Kansas City Royals at the Seattle Mariners. Cole Ragans against Brian Wu. Two really good pitchers. Ragans' ERA doesn't accurately reflect how he's pitching. He's coming off an injury. He's had some really good starts. He's had a bad start or two. Wu coming off a really, really bad start. Initially, I'm fully wanting to back the Royals at plus 132 here with Ragans on the mound. It's just really hard to think that Wu's going to have that bad of a start again, and I think that's why they're getting this -156 tag. I can't play that. I know that Wu's coming off a bad start. I think he's going to have a good start today. I do. But I'm going to have to go with the value play of the Royals plus 132 with Ragans on the bump. There's a chance that he just completely blows up, and it's an awful play. But I like the value there, and I think that's the right side of the game to be on, as well as the over 7. I know neither of these offenses have been too potent this year, and this total's a little bit low because of who's on the bump. But I really do think that they can eclipse this over 7 number, or at least hit 7 and push it. So let's go with the Royals plus 132 and the over 7 in that game. All right, and now the best part of the day, the long shot parlay of the day. We are going to go with White Sox on the money line plus 124. Guardians on the money line -116, over 8.5 runs in the Dodgers game at plus 104. Rays -142 on the money line. Reds plus 116 on the money line. And going back to the Blue Jays, -106 on the money line. $10 wager should pay out about $600. So we're going definitely for a bigger long shot today. Another thing is, I didn't really love the board today, but I do love a lot of strikeouts, and I tend to be good at strikeout plays. Not sure if that's something y'all would want. Maybe I could make some YouTube shorts going over, a couple guys I like the strikeouts and why I like it. I usually wait for lineups to come out just to make completely sure that I like the play. But yeah, try to keep this video a little bit shorter since there were more games today. The analysis a little bit shorter. Any feedback's appreciated. Good luck to everyone today, and let's make some money.